Hello and welcome. I'm Carol DeChaine, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters. This week and this month, we're talking about 5 steps to finding love. This week, the step is after you've looked at your outlook, you've checked over the former partners and how you've responded and what kind of gift you've received from them, and you know what you want. Then it's time to get out there and date if you want to find love. Maybe people around you can set you up with someone, or maybe you do that internet dating thing. Now, if people want to set you up, make sure you ask them, what is it about this person that makes you think that we'd be a good match? Maybe they just go, oh, it's just a single person I happen to know, and he seems like a nice guy, or she seems like a nice gal. And you're going, do you have any more information about them? Why do you think they're a nice person? What makes you think? What do they look like? Would I find them attractive? Because at least online, assuming the person actually has a correct picture of themselves and not someone else, you can at least see what they look like. Because we're human beings and we do go visual if we can see. And are we attracted to them? If you look at the person and go, ew, you're probably not going to want to date them. And with people setting us up, we can't see them in advance unless they have pictures of the person. We can actually, though, go online, usually to Facebook, and find some pictures. If you can do that, then you can get some sort of an idea. Not only can you, of course, have someone set you up, but this internet dating thing, if you have done a lot of it or you haven't done much, let me give you just some short ideas on that because I know that I've done a whole set of them on internet dating, and by all means, you can look them up on YouTube. What would you do? Well, first, you have to have some pictures that are smiling, one full body picture, some smiling pictures that you look at and you don't look like you should be in a rogues gallery somewhere, or it shouldn't look like it's the picture that they took when you went to jail. Make sure you're smiling, you're smizing, as I say, smiling with your eyes and enjoying, say hello to the person as though you love them already. When you have the camera on you, and wear clothes that are attractive, colorful maybe, or something more just black, maybe one black outfit and the rest of them have a few, 4 or 5. Don't have a lot of other people in the picture because they may looking at the other people and go, wow, I like to date that person. Who's the one that's got the bio again? So you don't want a lot of other pictures. You other people, unless they're like your kids or something, or your dog, and you want people to see that. Make sure they're with you. You can show pictures, 1 or 2 of things you like to do, but make sure that some of them are just you so that you can see what the person looks like and they can see if they're attracted to you or not. If you ski and that's one of your major things, have one with your goggles up and you on your skis, but don't make that the only one. Make that one of the 5 or 6 pictures maybe you put up, 3 or 4. If you put no pictures up, it means and you're out there looking as well, the person is not putting any effort into it. If they have no information on their bio hardly, they're doing no effort, they are not somebody you want to date unless you don't care if they ever talk to you because they kind of are an after effect of, maybe I'm interested. No, don't even deal with that because they are not putting enough effort out. If you put out effort and they're not, that's the way the whole relationship will be. And you don't want that. Besides pictures, you want your bio. And some people are a little nervous about writing a bio. Make sure that it's not just a list of all the things you like to do or a list of all the things you want in another person. You want to make it a little different, a little fun, a little interesting, something that would make people want to read it. So after you're done writing your bio, read it and say, oh, it's just a list. This isn't interesting. Why would someone read it? So make sure you have maybe a little quirk, a little humor if you have that in you. You can ask somebody else, well, how can I turn this phrase so that it sounds more like me instead of just a list? And maybe you'll have a friend who'll go, oh, that's easy. Why don't you say this? And you'll go, wait a minute, let me write that down because it's so good. You never know. And maybe it's still you, even though the other person said it. You go, yeah, that sounds exactly like me. So you write it down. So you have a party. Have people give you ideas. This might work better for women than men, but because women love to help you out, and men might think this is stupid. So make sure, don't know, depends on your friends, but make sure that the bio is fairly succinct. It's not super long, but that it says everything you needed to say in a small amount of time. Make sure that you know what you want. Like I've said last week, know what you want. You might want to mention something about that, or you might not in the first thing. Maybe there's another area of the dating app that gives you those options, like what you're looking for, what kind of relationship. Some people just say marriage, they say whatever, just a relationship, or um, they may say different things. Sometimes I know in the one of the ones I used, they had that specific where they had like 5 or 6 different options. So make sure you pick what you want there. And you don't always, once you know what choices they have, you can say whatever you want in the bio. Because you don't have to repeat yourself if you already have that option in a different section of the questions that they ask that people can see. I hope that makes sense. Because like I said, sometimes they'll say, well, what are you looking for? And it'll say right there the type of relationship. So you don't need to put that in the body and waste the time in the bio unless you really want to say, I'm really looking for somebody to travel with. I'd love to travel, and I'm hoping that whoever it is has time. I know a couple of gentlemen, then I was reading the bios, they said, I just retired. I really want to travel, and I'm looking for somebody who's available to travel and create a relationship, but also able to travel. So I don't want somebody who has a full-time job who can't travel with me. And that's the sort of thing that was good to know because, and it was fun to know, oh, I love to travel, but oh, I have a job, so I probably can't do that yet. So those people I let go. But now I just retired early, so now I could actually maybe want to choose some of those people. Although with COVID, since that's still around at this point, some of the travel restrictions are still there. But you look at all these different things and you go, oh, how can I make an impact on the kind of people who are my target people? I know who I want, what kind of thing I want, what I'm looking for, because I already told you to do that. So now I know what I'm looking for. What would the person want to see and read on the other side? What would attract them to me? And then go ahead and put that out there. Make sure that that's clear. The other thing when you get out there and date and it's on the internet is make sure that you don't get stuck in the text zone forever because some people want to text you back and forth through the dating app for days and days and days and you never end up talking to them, so you don't even know if they're real, if they're married or what's going on. So make sure that that doesn't happen, that you say, hey, this is fun, maybe on the one day, can we either talk on the phone or do a Zoom call so I can see you and make sure you're really the person that you said you were. Many people find that Zoom calls are great for first dates when during the pandemic, especially they were finding that because otherwise they couldn't connect. They couldn't meet right away. And I find that that is one way to get them out of the text stuckness. And I also would recommend do not give your phone number or your email out to anybody immediately until you've talked to them maybe through Zoom. If you talk to them on the phone, that's one thing, but you can text through the apps as well as what they say immediately, hey, I don't like these things. Can we talk on the phone? Say, sure, give me your number. Tell me when it's a good time to call you. So they will, you can call them and leave them a message and then say, hey, I'm around a specific time. If you could call me back, great. I've had some really great conversations with people and then I never hear from them again. And I'm going, okay, that was sad because this person seemed like they were perfect for me on paper. And so you have to kind of expect that. When you get out there and date, know that it's weird. If you're like my age or a little older or a little younger, you're going to find that it's different. If you haven't been on the dating scene for a while, you've been married and then divorced, people don't do the same things they used to. It's so easy to say, they said one thing I don't like, I'm not going to be around them. But before it was like phone or in person. And they call you, you talk, you liked them, you meet once, and then maybe they wouldn't call you again, but at least you could get a feel for that person in person. Now, if you say one little thing, they go, oh, there's 20 million other women out there. I'm just going to move on. And you're going, well, hello, what did I say that bugged you? It doesn't matter. They moved on, so you have to let it go. But it's interesting that now they have so many more choices that it's easier to meet people. So therefore they let people go by without giving them enough chances, without really checking into that person. So if you are what they call ghosted, where they just stop talking and they don't call or text or anything, just know that happens a lot now. And it's not a new thing before, but now it happens a lot more than it did before. And if anyone, of course, and you may know all this, emails you with some sort of thing. I found I had like 5 people in a row at one point email, and I was thinking, I don't think it's time for me to date. But they all had the same sort of story, and I would call it a sob story. And if it's true, I apologize to those gentlemen. But every single one said, I'm either from another country or I've lived in another country a long time, meaning they have an accent, and I'm actually an American. And I have my wife died a year ago. It was always a year ago. I have either young children or children that I want a mother for. And I'm going, I mean, even 10 years ago, I was too old for that. It was like, how young children? No, thank you. I mean, grandchildren, sure. But children? I don't, no, I don't know that I could handle that. At least somebody I hadn't met. It's different if I'd fall in love with somebody that I met and found out they had young children, and then you just make do and you figure out how it's going to work. But to know from the beginning, it's a little odd. So you're looking at them going, okay, and then they tell you the same story. So if you get something like that, know if they ask for your email immediately and they send you a really long message, it is just copy pasted, stuck in, they send it to everybody, they're probably fake. There's also the ones that ask for your phone number right away, that and it's very strange. They connect with you. You start, especially if you're lonely. And when I said look at your outlook and you're kind of desperate and you get lonely and you really, really hate being alone and you really, really want love, people will play on that. If you get the wrong person, you might find somebody really connecting with on the phone. You haven't met them in person, probably, maybe, pardon me, maybe they're across the country. And all of a sudden, they ask for money. Oh, they give you some sob story. Then that's the number one thing where you go, oh, good luck with that. I hope you find something. Blah, blah, blah. And if they ask you for money, that's it. Done. I don't care. I don't care how much you like them. Delete their information and block their phone number. Block their phone number. They are taking advantage of you. Ladies, especially, do not be stupid because you will be sorry later. Do not give them money, period. That's all they want, and they're trying to take you. And if it's somebody that you want, if you have a ton of money and you don't care, they aren't caring for you. But if that's what you want to hear, I mean, that's on you. Just be aware. So you know, if someone asks for money, they're not legitimate. They're not there to care for you. They're there to scam you. And it's totally up to you what you want to do. But just be aware. So you know going in, especially if you can't afford it, what's happening. When you get out there and date now, it's a lot easier to try and scam people than it used to. It doesn't mean that's who you're going to draw yourself. You may not draw those kind of people to you because you may have totally a high enough resonance and that vibration that you're only bringing people that are really of value that you want. And that's what you want. You want to get out there and put yourself and your best foot forward and be aware when people are not. And you might need to try a couple of different dating apps until you find one that works for you. Some of them may not have enough cross traffic, so to speak. Other ones, they leave people who haven't been active there for a long time, like Match.com. Swear they had people there that none of them responded to me for a long period of time. And all of a sudden I started getting people. But those people, even if they were inactive, they would look like they were active. So you'd go ahead and take the time and send out an email, say, oh, I really like your bio because of this, this, or this, and it feels like we'd be a good match, and whatever you put out there. And then you're realizing, oh, they never responded. But after a while, you realize they never take down the old ones, so it looks like they have a lot of people on their website. And they do have a lot of people, but a lot of them have found people. They've gotten off, or they've given up. It's not a good time for them. So they just leave their bio up there without thinking about it. They don't respond, but they may have 50 different people out there. I like the ones that require 24 hours. or 48 hours to respond, because that way, even if all you say is, "Hey there, I'll get back to you in 48, I'm out of town or something. I hope that's okay." And then you go, "Great, I look forward to hearing from you." And they may or may not get back to you, but at least they responded in the right amount of time so that you can then move forward and know that it's not going to be 2 years and then all of a sudden you'll hear from this person when they've decided to start dating again. Next week, we're going to be talking about opening up and listening to your heart. And that is the most important thing. But so far, we've talked about looking at your outlook, how you're feeling about looking for love, learning from former partners, from parents, from any other couples that you've been around, but especially your own, and what you can learn and how you can move forward and not repeat some of those things that you might consider mistakes, and knowing what you want, knowing specifically, and knowing some of those buzzkill things that you know they are deal breakers if they come out. Today is just get out there and date. Don't wait. Don't wait until it's the right time, unless the right time is going to be in a couple weeks because you're just busy right now. But if you wait too long, you're going to have 10 years go by and go, "Hell, I never did it." Don't wait too long. Get out there and see what's out there and see if it's the right time for you. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm Carol DeChaine, and you're listening to my YouTube channel. So by all means, go ahead and subscribe if you're interested, and click on the bell notification so you know the next time that a video is posted. And then check out my website, connecttojoy.com. And it's also the name of my podcast, which you will find on almost all podcast channels, but also on my website. And that's connect2joy.com. There you'll also find information on life coaching, on Marconics multidimensional energy, and on energy space clearing. And you can connect with me also through my website and by email if you are interested in past life readings. Until next week, please know that you deserve to have love. You deserve that joy that comes from that. So please give yourself that gift. Take the time and get out there if you're interested and find that love that can totally change your life.